Kevin McCullough.
Hi, Kevin McCullough. Thank you for being here. It's the most wonderful time. It's my favorite time of the year, man. I'm not kidding you. I love once we get past Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. I saw something on Instagram this week where this photographer in the Northeast, he loves to take these landscape pictures, and he says, here's our calendar. October 1 through 31st, Halloween. November 1 through 27, Christmas. November 28th, Thanksgiving. November 29th through December 31st, Christmas. And that's how it goes in his house. I'm kind of like that. I got music playing that's pre-Thanksgiving, but I'm certainly taking time out in each.
Are your trees up?
To be thankful. I don't have my tree up yet. No, not yet. But at the end of the day, it is a season of joy, of giving, of gratitude, and of all the wonderful things. And that disembodied voice coming from outside there, let's put him on screen here. It's Todd Chapman from CSI, and he's back with us again. Todd, always appreciate you. And you love the seasons too. You and I have worked together for a long time. So there is something special about this time of year. And when you have the opportunity to take someone's life that has been nothing but death and turn it into something that is joyous and fulfilling and charitable and loved and all the rest of it, like we do with CSI, it is really an amazing thing to witness. And that's why I've asked you to come back and tell us some more stories. We've been on this journey since February of this year, trying to liberate 208 slaves. Specific names. We know exactly who they are. We know where they are. There is another liberation scheduled before the end of the year, which means we could get them home for Christmas. But we have a few dozen left that we have not yet reached. We've had more than 160 liberated, but we want to finish well. We want to get all 208 home for Christmas this year.
Absolutely. And, if you've got a person on your list, and I think we all do, the person who has everything, you cringe every time you have to buy the Christmas gift for them. Well, maybe this year you make a donation in their name, $250, you free a slave, and then just create, on your computer, some sort of certificate and just say, hey, look, for Christmas, we made a donation and you have helped free a human being and change giving them their life back. Or if you just want to do this out of the goodness of your heart on behalf of you and your family, that would be awesome. Of course, your gift is tax deductible. And Kev, we're just so excited. I mean, we've already freed 1,200 slaves this year, women primarily, but some men as well. Children, we're able to affect the release of kids who have been born in slavery. Oftentimes, these women have been raped by their slave owners multiple times, and they get pregnant. And, if we can, of course, we want to keep those families together, those mothers. As a matter of fact, you can imagine this as a parent, if you're a parent. So someone comes to free you and you're like, well, I've got to take my child or my children with me. And we're not always able to negotiate that. And so sometimes women have to make the choice, well, I'm not going to leave right now. And so we go back to work and try to get the kid. We do have heartbreaking stories of women. We were able to negotiate the freedom maybe for one of her two kids. And so she brings the youngest back with her, but then a child left behind. And so even though it's a beautiful story of freedom and redemption and a new life for these moms that do have to leave some of their family behind, or it could be a parent or a sibling that was maybe captured as well, it's heartbreaking at the same time. So there's a lot of heavy and hard stuff, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to set captives free, people that have known that really thought they would never have their life back. Their identity has been taken from them. They've been abused in every way you can possibly imagine, physically, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. And so to be able to, again, give them that life back, there's nothing more beautiful. So if you've never given a gift to CSI, maybe you're hearing about this for the first time, I would really just strongly encourage you to do what Kevin's family does, what my wife and I do, and give to CSI, and let's set some more people free.
Yeah, $250 will give a slave its liberation, but beyond that, it will give her everything she needs to start her life over again. And just to Todd's point there that he was making, there is not a slave that we liberate that when they're telling their story to the CSI people, that number one, they are not fully immersed in gratitude and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to those of you that have helped us find liberation, to get free, to be back. The way that they can put it in their language is sometimes a little choppy to our English ears, but they are so earnest in that thankfulness. And then they quickly add, but please don't stop. Please don't stop until every slave is free. And so that last part kind of haunts those of us that really care about this, because we know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there are several thousand that we still have the opportunity to try to help. But to Todd's point, it is an immensely joyful thing, and I like to put it on a measuring scale, Todd, because when these people were taken into slavery, the abuse, the pain, the sexual hurt, the physical beatings, the verbal assaults, the just horrible treatment by the family members of the slave master, the ruthless and inhumane way that they are treated as cattle. In fact, their cattle is more valuable to them than the lives of these slaves. It's just
That's true.
it's the all of that pain is so heavy, and so it feels like the scale is very out of proportion. But when CSI finds them and brings them home, you start to see the scale go in the other direction. And for the pain and the darkness and the hurt and the kind of hopelessness that they encounter, the joy and the anticipation and the gratitude and the inexplicable happiness that they have on the other end of it is equally intense. 208 are what we've known that we could get liberated for our efforts right here, and we have at least 3 or 4 dozen of those left to go. And for those of you that have already given, and that means 160 or so plus have been liberated, thank you. You've affected that joy. That sunshine is being spread. That happiness is being felt. It's the ones that we haven't gotten to yet that I'm concerned about. 888-342-1010, 888-342-1010. Call and make that gift. It's $250 to liberate one slave. How many slaves, how many lives would you like to touch? 888-342-1010, or go to bringherhome.org online. Bringherhome.org, bringherhome.org, or 888-342-1010. Please go right now.